Hello, welcome back, or welcome for the first time if this is your first time watching me. I recently just shot someone's audition tape for American Ninja Warrior on the Sony FX30, and I want to talk a little bit about how it performed shooting in that documentary style. So I shot that video on two different cameras, one on the Sony FX30 and two on the Sony A6400. And my setup was my B cam, the side cam coming up the side angle, was the A6400 with a 24-70 on it, kind of getting more like a tight angle on the side. And then my A cam, the main camera, was the Sony FX30, getting like the wider shot of the guy talking straight on to the camera. So on the A cam, I had a matte box with a half soft filter mounted on there because I didn't really want like full soft, but I still wanted like a little bit of a cinematic look. And then on the A6400, I didn't have any filter, just a polarizer filter to cut out any reflections of the background. And along with the FX30, I also had an Atomos Ninja 5 mounted on top of the camera so I could monitor what it was shooting. For the microphone, I just shot with two microphones, one Takstar on top of the A6400 and one Rode Video Mic Go 2, I think that's what it is, on the side, mounted on the side of the FX30. So let's talk about the good and the bad of how the shoot went. We'll start off with the bad. I kind of wish that I had not used the half soft filter on the main camera, just because the two cameras' footages don't really match much at all. That is also partially because I shot one in S-Log3 and the other in S-Log2, but I should be able to match the two to look close, but I wasn't able to because of the soft filter and how it changed the look, because I'm no professional color grader, and that also wasn't really the point of the video. Like, it didn't really need to look professional done, he just wanted it to look good. Another bad is that the batteries on both cameras drained quite quickly. With the A6400, I'm not really surprised that it drained so quickly because it's not really a new camera, but the FX30 did drain decently quick, a little faster than I expected it to, but it was still enough that I could get through the whole shoot, which is about 2 to 3 hours on two batteries, and I still had more battery left over. Now the good. I am very pleased with how the footage came out. I wasn't really a big fan of how it looked with the half soft filter on there. Like I said, I do kind of wish that I hadn't shot with that filter, but when I ran it on a gimbal, the footage still looked great. Speaking of the gimbal, believe it or not, the FX30 with 30mm still fits on the DJI Ronin SC. Yes, the original SC, not the SC2 or the RS3, but the original SC. And it is a little heavy for it. Now, it is definitely a little heavy for it, and I can't put like any extra attachments on there, like an ND filter or a polarizer filter, which is why I'm going to be upgrading to a newer gimbal. But it does hold the weight. It is a little bit much for the motors, and the battery does tend to drain a little quicker because of that on the gimbal, but the camera's still light enough to work on it. Now, I know I said in my last video I liked how the camera has outside lights showing when the camera's recording, and I just wanted to point that out again, how nice it is to have that, because when I was sitting behind the FX30 watching the monitor and I looked over at my A6400, I had no idea if that was still recording because it doesn't have those lights. And it was really nice for if I walked over and stood next to the A6400 and watched that footage to know that the FX30 is still recording because I could see those lights on the camera. The FX30 also did a great job shooting in 4K 24 for about an hour, and then shooting in 4K 60 for 45 minutes. It didn't overheat at all, and I actually found that even though I shot more with the FX30 than I did on the A6400, was that I had used less space on my memory card. Like, on my A6400, I shot about an hour's worth of footage in 4K 24, and then on the FX30, I shot the same amount of footage in 4K 24, and then about 30 to 45 minutes in 4K 60, and I still had under 25 gigabytes worth of footage, which was surprising to see because when I transferred the footage from the A6400, it was about 30, and I had shot a lot less with that. So it's nice to see that the file sizes are actually pretty small to work with. and editing was quite easy with that footage in those small files. With the actual shoot itself, I decided not to shoot it in RAW. There just really wasn't a point. And then I planned and shot listed and set up mood boards and all that stuff in Landon By the Way's app called Shot Lists, which was actually super helpful, and I'm considering upgrading that to Pro so I can use it more for more shoots. I really enjoyed using it. Alright, well that is all for now. Just wanted to fill in how the FX30 performed, how it's going so far with the camera. I'll probably keep updating with more videos talking about the FX30, so stay tuned for those. I'll see you in the next one.